Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2021 Driver Career Mode with Williams, episode number 12 today for the Singapore Grand Prix of Season 1. If you missed the previous video uploaded last week, then I recommend going and check them out. And of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. See plenty more F1 2021 Driver Career Mode videos. I just want to say also huge thank you once again for 500 subscribers. I've mentioned a bit more of that in Friday's video, but yes, massive thank you. Now we need to move on. Obviously, the next aim is, of course, 750 subscribers. That was the target at the start of the year, and I think we're very much on target to get it. So yes, if you have not yet subscribed, then please do. It's the big red button under the video. It massively helps me out in sustaining the channel. But anyway, to some R&D. Well, we've got some 1700 resource points. I'm thinking I'm in an iron about either a front or rear downforce one, because we've got some percentage on. So I had to go for the rear one because we've got slightly more off. Hopefully we can get a little bit more off the front one before we apply it as well. So that's going to come in. That's going to take a little bit of a while and not going to come in for this episode. I don't think it's going to come in for the next episode either in Japan, due to the way the calendar is just, yeah, the calendar isn't well done on F1 2021, because you've got like a very disjointed, because obviously they've taken races out that aren't there in real life, like Portimao, Imola, Turkey and whatnot. As well, obviously there are races that have never taken place, like Singapore and Canada, but nevertheless, even in the 16 calendar season which I run, it's still not that great. There need to be better spacing, really. But anyway, moving to R&D, Ferrari, Aston Martin and McLaren have still been locked together, as they have been for pretty much the entirety of this season. Everybody except AlphaTauri bringing an upgrade, which allows Alfa Romeo to jump them up to the fourth slowest team on the grid. But we'll see if that comes into fruition for Alfa Romeo. They haven't had a great season, to be honest, so not really getting points. I can't remember if Kimi's retiring or not. I think he is, but that was such a long time ago that they said we might have got an email or something. But anyway, moving to qualifying, Singapore, surprisingly, wasn't a good track for me in previous years, but yeah, on F1 2020 was a good track, so we'll see what we can do. Obviously the curbs will be a nightmare, because they're a nightmare in this game. Well, you can see qualifying going unusually well. Medallion P17, the Alfa Romeos, no AlphaTauri in sight, even though we're only just behind them on paper as well. But through the first sector, we're barely met anything up. 400s up on our previous best time, so there was a lot of time. They were 10th and a half down on Giovinazzi starting through the first sector, so I don't think we're going to be beating Giovinazzi throughout this session, but through this middle sector, then this is surprisingly, it's the middle sector where I'm gaining the most time on the AI, not the first sector. That's a little bit peculiar based on recent years, but maybe that's the upgrades that are finally coming in and the car starting to handling better towards the setup I've got on as well. But through the hairpin, losing a little bit of time, we got a much better exit though, and we've gained up to 2/10 now. Where you see there we're only now half a tenth down on Giovinazzi as we come through into the final sector, which is the worst because it's got the most curbs as well, which let's just say there were a load of MFD pop-ups during the race that you won't be seeing. Nothing to see there of course a little bit of floor damage as well, but obviously flashback as usual. 3.5 tenths though, it was a good improvement, and yeah, it's not a great time. Hamilton up there leading from Bottas. I mean, Hamilton has been dominating this season so far in this career mode of ours, and yeah, but we're actually closer to Giovinazzi than I thought we were. Very close. So we'll definitely take that. There's lots of signs of improvement. It's time though for the race.
Against the spectacular backdrop of the Singapore skyline, Formula One returns once again to do battle in what tends to become something of an endurance race, with the notorious sauna-like temperatures in the cockpit making for an extremely physically challenging Grand Prix. The Marina Bay Street Circuit then has 23 corners, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, taking us a total of 3.1 miles around the landmarks of downtown Singapore. An average lap speed around here, just 107 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, Lando Norris and Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Vettel and Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Esteban Ocon and Raikkonen, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, a Williams and Mick Schumacher. Mazepin and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the John Watson in this career mode, starting the top gear from the back of the grid. I mean, he did manage to win from 23rd of the grid once, John Watson, back in 1983. There's your F1 stat of the day for you. But anyway, we'll see what we can do from 17th on the grid. 5 lights are out and away we go, and it's a good start, better than Giovinazzi. Sluggish start. I'm going to pull alongside, but he's stuck on our inside now and dives down the inside. We lift off. Take a little bit more curbing as the AlphaTauri decides to cut us off there, and Giovinazzi bowled into one of the Alpine cars as well. Giovinazzi's putting up a fight here, but we're going to close it. I'm pretty sure he might have got on some damage. It was Ocon. He does. But also fighting is one of the Aston Martin. I think that's Sainz, so they're causing a little bit of a tailback, and that's going to allow me to get in front of Alonso, who's napping. So the AI napping here, and that was a nice move as there. And confirmation, it's Stroll and Sainz going side by side. There's the dive bomb from myself on Alonso. Nicely move up the inside. Stroll is past Sainz, and Sainz might be a little bit of a roadblock potentially, as we're now looking around the outside of Vettel at the hairpin. Around the outside, as I say, I was not looking for an overtake really there, but the brake, they broke so early again, really, but eventually we just managed to use the ERS, enough ERS, and also side by side, I was so close with Vettel actually understeering into me there in the Aston Martin car. We dive down the inside though at the end of the third DRS zone and move up into P10 as Lando Norris comes in at the end of lap number 5, or 15 I should point out. An early stop, I would say. He's definitely the first to move on to medium tyres. I thought he might have front wing damage actually when I saw him pit on the minimap, but no. So he's come in, he's come up behind us. In actual fact, we jumped to lap 6. In actual fact, a couple more people have come in. We're still stuck behind Sainz, so we're getting DRS. But now, he's not got any DRS from the person ahead of him. So we're going to have a look at him down the inside. Thank you very much. And move up into P3. Will temporarily be P3, but obviously we are coming in at the end of the lap. I'm sure it will be a net P9. So we slow in. Okay, I did not. Something's gone on here. The safety car's being deployed, but I don't. I've got confused because you see where the marker board is. It's there, but the spit limiter doesn't come into line until that second line, and I think I've got confused, broke in a panic to try and beat the speed, because it's 37 miles an hour. It's a slow pit lane as well, and I've broken, and I think Sainz, being the AI, may have ghosted, or the Red Bull as well. I don't know, he looks a bit ghosted as well, so something along those lines. Again, it's a little bit hard to tell, but that's what's gone on, and the safety, that's just triggered the safety car out. Nobody's actually out of the races. We've actually jumped Leclerc and Stroll in the safety car, so the safety cars worked out for us a treat, as the two medium compound runners in this race of Gasly and our teammate George Russell are the race leaders at this moment in time. Yes, a bit peculiar that the safety car got triggered out. Usually it's just the AI just ghosts. But anyway, resuming, the safety car came in at the end of lap number 9. Gasly is going to lead. Will we now deploy the Williams master plan? See if we can get past the AI. Ricciardo's napping. We can easily get him. He's on the hard tyres, so he's either pickings. Now we're at the inside of Verstappen in the hairpin. The inside this time, not the outside as we were on Vettel. We're going to have our drag race actually down with the third DRS, so no DRS yet, just enforced just yet. We're going to go around the outside, leave Verstappen in the room. Thank you very much, and up into P7 now. So this is a good result. You can see Russell is deploying the Williams master plan absolutely beautifully and slowing everybody up on those warm medium tyres. You can see there, we're going to dive it down the inside of Hamilton, who's broke way too early for the hairpin, and move up into P5. So that all of a sudden, thank you George Russell, he comes in now, but we've got Perez and Norris are now battling. You know how the AI like to battle on this game. It can cause them, of course, all sorts of problems. They're going side by side. Norris has been forced out by Perez, and he hasn't got DRS, so Norris is just an absolute sitting duck as we go down the inside of Norris and move up into P3 on the road. What a comeback! We were nowhere in this race. We were battling for like P9, P10 before the pit stops. Now, thank you to the Williams master plan, we've now somehow managed to get a podium. But Hamilton isn't giving up on getting a podium. He obviously wants those points because Bottas is sailing off into the, well, I can't call it the sunset because I mean it is night. Yes, you know what I mean, as Hamilton there tries again the following lap to try and get past us, but Hamilton really couldn't get past. He was only good enough at turn 1. We seem to have a good enough traction, so across the line we come to the second podium for us, the Williams team, in 3 races. What? And what is going on in this career mode now? We've won a race already, and now we've got another podium. Absolutely bonkers scenes here. And Perez as well, I mean, he's not been that great in this career mode of ours, but he's up to P2 today, so very good for him. Norris lost out, Hamilton lost out big time. Verstappen was just asleep. George, well, he did the service. The trophy's definitely going to be shared with him, as we him slowing everybody up allowed us to get that podium. If he wasn't there, then they would have flown ahead and we would have been left to pick up what was P9 or P8, depending on Ricciardo's pace on those hards. But we retain P9 in the championship. 85 points we've now earned in this series. 85. I mean, that's just... we've been so lucky on so many occasions, and I'm wondering how long it is until our luck just
that was
finally
an exciting
runs
race
out.
from our
We'll
perspective.
see.
Let's have yours. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Well, we
Your team
deployed the
must be
Williams master
ecstatic with how
plan.
you're performing.
Well, when the Williams master plan works, then of course
Appreciate your
it's
time.
nice to see. So yes, thank you George Russell for slowing them all up. I mean, he did a team job today. I mean, and we got more crucial points. I mean, now we're sitting pretty in both championships, really. I mean, I'm not really looking to be fighting anywhere in the Drivers' Championship. The Constructors, though, Williams are going to be fifth place, and it looks like they might stay there. In terms of components, a little bit getting worried now. They're getting a little bit worn on a couple of the parts, but we should be good with only 4 rounds to go. Japan is next as well. Not a great track for me. I mean, I was dreadful there, so anything there, points there, I'll be happy. We have not scored points since the Hungarian Grand Prix, so we're on a great run of form, and actually haven't been outside the top 5 since Belgium, so this is a good run of form for me. So we'll see if we can keep the momentum going. George, unfortunately, is last, but I mean, he's done us a service and the team a service today. Otherwise, it would have been, well, Sainz was P10, so we would have been P9 maybe. Actually no, he came out ahead of Leclerc, so P8, P7 maybe today. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. See plenty more F1 2020 on Driver Career Mode videos. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.